It's the SKOR North Twins Show. Baseball.
Welcome to a State of the Twins Monday on the SKOR North Twins Show. Who's fired up? Huh?
Hey, Stella, get that paper bag for me.
Twins baseball
Get that
is
paper bag
on
for
the
me.
air.
Yeah.
Hey,
Coming up-
Twins fans.
Coming up next on Twins Live. Twins lose 8-2, but the guy in left field sold a bratwurst like no one else has ever sold a. We'll show you what Richie in right field, the vendor, did.
The Twins are
seen
now
ever what's
9-2.
behind the green monster?
Yeah. Have you ever been out in Boston? Because we went out in Boston. We're just going around Boston, Jeff. Gorgeous.
We'll get to a State of the Twins rundown here and a vibe check here in a moment. If you are stopping by Target Field, or maybe you're looking ahead to Timberwolves season and you're looking for a glorious hotel near all the action, Element Hotel, or maybe you're just looking to visit for a purple game. There's all sorts of reasons you could want to visit the Element Hotel. Dex?
Absolutely. Great North Loop spot, restaurant. You're steps away from Target Field, steps away from the light rail. It gets you right to US Bank Stadium, steps away from numerous great things. Whether it's good baseball, bad baseball, the Element Hotel is here for you. They have the great snack bar there. They have the free Wi-Fi. Hell, they're pet friendly. Bring your dog. I don't know if they allow cats, but you can bring your dog for sure. That helps. SKORNorth.com/element. 15% off your booking. Yeah, if you're looking at that Timberwolves schedule, you want to be there for the home opener, or even some out-of-town guests, want to see that glorious Target Center, SKORNorth.com/element. 15% off your booking.
All right, here's the overview, as we do every single Monday. The Twins are 81-75. In fact, real quick here, when's the last time they were 6 games above 500?
Probably during the winning streak.
Yeah, probably climbing out of this bad start.
Yeah, because they've been
7-13.
double-digit games.
Yeah, there's 17 up on August 17th, right, Tex?
40, 50.
They beat
Yeah.
Texas. 3 or 4 from Texas.
Looks like 41-35. So this is the lowest point they've been at record-wise since Friday, June 21st. So the Twins are 81-75. They're now in 4th place in the American League Central for the first time. 1 game out of the wild card. They're 11th in runs scored per game, 19th in runs allowed per game, and they're down to a 42% chance to make the playoffs, according to Baseball Reference, with still a 2% chance to win the whole thing. And then this is the craziest thing. We've seen in the last 25 years, the Twins have pulled this the other way around, where they're like kind of buried at some point, and they make, like 2006, they were 8 games under 500. They make a huge comeback. 2009, they made the huge comeback in September. On August 10th, the Tigers were 55-63 with a 0.5% chance to make the playoffs. And since then, the Tigers have gone 27-11. This is after they traded Jack Flaherty.
One viable starter. One like real solid starter is left in Detroit.
Yeah, but I think they're like top 5 in run prevention in terms of like runs allowed per game.
Their defense is very good.
And the bullpen's been really good.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
So they're 27-11 since August 10th, and now they're up to I think it's a 75% chance to make the playoffs. And then the Twins since August 17th, the Twins were 70-53 on August 17th. 95% chance to make the playoffs. And since then they are 11-22. Twins vibes are a blank right now. Fill in the blank.
Dex, go ahead.
The Twins' vibes are in hospice care. That is the best way I can describe this, as someone who had to experience with a family member hospice care. And you just Google hospice care. The definition is specialized care that provides physical, comfort, and emotional, social, and spiritual support for people nearing the end of their life. That's what we're looking at with this Twins team right now. We had a big discussion about ownership on Friday. We had a big discussion about injuries, guys coming in, coming out. At the end of the day, this team has completely collapsed, and there's a ton of reasons for this collapse, but this is brutal. This is absolutely brutal. You went from a team that was still maybe fighting to win a division. They still had some games to play against Cleveland. Regardless, though, they were going to be in the mix, and now here they sit with 6 games left, off day today on Monday, 6 games left, and they will have to throw Pablo and Bailey in the last weekend of the series, most likely. So even if you get in, and yes, crazier things have happened, you have really just screwed the pooch, and you're in hospice care nearing the end of the life, and this has been a huge buzzkill. We've seen also we talked about the Twins rising from the dead in the opposite way of making playoff runs unexpectedly. This is right up there with one of the biggest buzzkills I can remember from a Minnesota sports team to close out a season.
So the Tiger story is really good. Like, that's a great, bounce back. But here's what's incredible. You have 2 American League Central teams very much in the wild card mix now who are neck and neck for choking. Don't look now. The Royals have lost 7 consecutive games. They're 2-8 in their past 10. I think within the last month or so, they have 2 7-game losing streaks. Like, this is pathetic. Like, the Twins are who we focus on, and they, in my opinion, have no business being in the playoffs, although they might make it. But, like, the Royals are giving them a run for their money. It is you talk about just watching 2 horses that deserve to be put down. These are 2 baseball teams that deserve to have their season put down.
Yeah, the Royals just got swept clean. 6-game homestand. 0-6 on a 6-game homestand.
How about that?
They now go on the road for the final 6 games of their schedule. So here's the schedule. Well, Judd, why don't you give us a Twins vibe check, and then we go through.
Twins vibes are Humpty Dumpty because they're about to fall down and go boom and crack apart. This team feels like it has, and I know there are challenges, okay? There are challenges, no question. But it feels like they are content and intent on going home. There's nothing about this that feels like there's fight left. I know that they won Friday in Fenway, and believe me, when I say I watched that game at Park Tavern, it's one of the worst baseball games I have ever watched that's supposed to be professionally played. And yesterday you don't just get beat in a doubleheader. You get spanked in both games, outscored 17-4. You've lost 12 of 18. Correa is back. Buxton is back. It doesn't seem to matter. So Humpty Dumpty, they're going to wobble off the wall, fall down, and go boom.
Yeah, where was the go? Was there a go boom part of the Humpty Dumpty?
Go boom.
Well, I'm including it, but he
was
fell off the wall.
Was that part of the official
He fell but he fell off the wall.
Go boom.
And he basically went boom.
It's Humpty Dumpty sat on a wall. Humpty Dumpty had a great fall. All the king's horses, all the king's men couldn't put Humpty together again. There's nothing about a boom.
I like it though. I like the boom. But he went boom.
I'm including it. I'm updating the story.
Yeah.
There's probably kids watching this right now. They're like, Sports Dad, who's Humpty Dumpty? Now I am making it more exciting.
Hey, what noise did Humpty make when he fell off that wall?
Boom,
was it like a splat?
It was like a man boom. It was like a man boom. You know what? Humpty Dumpty, the updated that I just did, you need more violence to it. Like he had a great fall. Well, then he's got to explode like a potato, like a tomato exploding. I'm just giving it more personality.
No, okay.
More
I feel
violence.
you.
More violence.
I feel you.
Just kicking it up.
Twins vibes are unserious. They are unserious. And I will transition this into the next category, which is our least favorite current Twins thing. And Declan touched on this. They're unserious as a team that aspires to make the playoffs, and that, in all due respect, because Zebby Matthews was not like, he didn't ask to be put in this position. Like he started in A-ball earlier this year, and I would contend that he wasn't even that bad yesterday. Like,
no, he wasn't.
4 2/3, like, and then the bullpen came in and kind of.
He left with the lead.
But he's struggling to get through even. He's only gone 5 full innings once in his last, I think, 5 or 6 starts.
Right.
So he is a 3 or 4 inning guy that was like right now. I think there's a chance he could be a mainstay in your rotation going forward.
Right.
But he started the year in A-ball. And when I say unserious, here's how you're lining up a must-win week of games at Target Field right now. A team that aspires to do big things, right? Ride the momentum off last year's playoff series win. You've got David Festa starting on Thursday, another guy that struggles to get through even 5 innings, right? And then you have Zebby Matthews starting on national TV on Saturday night. That game was flexed to a 6 p.m. start time on Fox against the Orioles. So season's on the line, and this is the state of your rotation. Not to mention the fact that they've had trouble scoring runs on the offensive side. It's not just, I'm not trying to pick on Zebby Matthews here, but you are unserious. And if you do get through all of this, there's a good chance, because you're starting Pablo Lopez on Friday, maybe he can bounce back for like a game 2.
Right.
But if you have to use Bailey Ober on Sunday, and Bailey Ober is scheduled to pitch tomorrow night against Miami. Miami's terrible. You should be able to take at least 2 of those games if you fancy yourself as a playoff team. But then if Bailey Ober has to pitch on Sunday, and there's a good chance he does because you have 3 teams fighting right now, jockeying for position, you will be, right, Dex? You'll be without Bailey Ober for your 3-game wildcard series.
Yeah.
Right?
I mean, you could make
maybe he comes in a game 3 on short.
Maybe. This is the bed they've made with their decisions. I think my least favorite thing, just transitioning to least favorite things, is yes, there might be a scapegoat here. There might be a manager that could be fired. There might be changes in the front office, maybe. But this offense has just it's not serious. It's an unserious offense. And Correa's trying his best, carving out a shoe to make him at least somewhat being able to still play baseball. But you still have Royce Lewis in the lineup. You still have Trevor Larnach in the lineup. I like what I've seen mostly from Matt Wallner. He might be the Twins' only really good saving grace at the plate right now, but they can't drive in a run in scoring position. Friday was pain. I have experienced some really bad baseball before. I've coached Little League. I have umpired Little League. I have also watched some Division II baseball. I called a crap ton of baseball games for St. Cloud State when I was there. I've seen some bad baseball. That game on Friday, I wasn't there in person, obviously, was the worst performance of Major League Baseball I've ever seen. It was ineptitude to the 1000th degree. And for the Twins not to be able to have anything for their run support, no run support for these pitchers. Zebby and Simeon and Festa might be doing everything they can, but this lineup still should be able to produce runs, and they can't drive in a run. They hit into more double plays, I believe, than extra base hits against Cleveland. Like, the fact they can't even drive runners in, man. There was, I believe, 32 left on base on Friday between the Twins and Red Sox.
The Red Sox left, I think, 20 on base. So
yeah, it was an ungodly number. My least favorite part is, yes, the pitching plans are now going kaput if they even make the playoffs. This lineup can't even score runs, dude, and it's unacceptable.
And that Red Sox team swept you. The same team that you all watched on Friday, which I thought was, the fact the Red Sox couldn't win on Friday, I was actively just rooting for them to get the runs across. Like, how many times did they have a guy on third and they couldn't score him? And then they come back and sweep you. But, okay, starting pitching, a problem. And I agree, Phil. It's not like, I'm not blaming the kids, but the expectation there and the fact that you had like no room for a veteran guy to get hurt. Like, with a good team, you gave yourself no room.
Well, Kikuchi has been awesome, by the way.
Kikuchi hasn't lost.
Yes, yeah.
So, like, before you say, oh, you could not give up. Oh, no, don't do that. Kikuchi has not lost. Declan, you're right. The bats, and the bats are more inexcusable because of the fact that they are actually there. They're present. But I'll just go to Derek Falvey in the bullpen. All right? So let me get this straight. At the trade deadline, you're like, okay, we can't do much. We're not going to do much. And again, you said, well, we tried to get all the best guys, but we couldn't. But you didn't try to get anyone else, as far as I know. But you get Trevor Richards. All right, let's see how he does. Yeah, he struggled somewhat in Toronto, but let's see. Okay, let's give the ball to good old Trevi. Well, they did, and it was a disaster. Okay. All right, that's real bad. You deserve a lot of heat for that, Derek. What are you going to do next? Hey, hold on a second here. Baltimore just took Cole Irvin out to the dumpster on a Wednesday because it's garbage day. Let's drive by and pick it up and see what happens.
Oh, he's going to get revenge, though, this weekend.
You bring him in yesterday. Zebby was fine. Zebby was taken out because they were concerned about him, and this is a whole different topic, but they were concerned about him now going through the order for a third time. So 2 outs in the 5th for the second consecutive start, they remove him. That's a discussion point, but that's not my point. You bring in, all right, let's go Cole Irvin. We got a lefty. We picked him up the scrap heap. Yeah, he's garbage, but let's see what happens. Boom, boom, walk. Boom, 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 boom. That is, to me, to go back to Phil's word, that is, I think, the most unserious thing. You have no bullpen at the what would qualify the front end guys. You've got nothing there, and yet you were a team that was contending. What are we doing here? And bullpen guys, don't give me this. Well, they cut payroll. What were they going to do? You can find competent arms in the bullpen.
I'm curious.
That's
maybe we can switch this into. I don't know that we need to go through our favorite current Twins thing on this episode. So let's just do it.
Mine's blank.
Yeah, I mean
I draw it up.
I have a couple like look ahead things for the week, and I think for any like long-term look ahead things, our Friday episode encompasses our checklist for what this franchise, what we think they should do this offseason. Not like go get us. I mean, more broad and ownership all the way down.
Right.
But a couple more things for you guys on this after we shout out Nicolay Law here. Nicolay Law, the exclusive personal injury law firm of the SKOR North Twins Show. Russell Nicolay, been a huge supporter of what we're building here at SKOR North, and Nicolay Law knows that when you or a loved one gets injured, ordinary life can come to a stop. Things can get complicated, and during that time, insurance companies may pressure you. Well, that's where Nicolay Law comes in with a guiding hand to help you get the compensation you deserve after an accident. So if you've been injured, get Minnesota's local award-winning injury lawyers. Get Nicolay. Start your path to winning at nicolaylaw.com or give them a call at 1-855-NICOLAY.
Baseball.
I'm just pontificating here, but I wonder how will the team frame this week? You have 6 home games. It's fall weather. It generally on paper would feel like a playoff vibe, right? They're right in the thick of this. There's like a coin flip chance to make the playoffs. A really bad Miami team, so you should be able to, in theory, win some of these games. National TV on Saturday night, right? Like on paper, if you didn't know the context or kind of where they've fallen from last year, you'd say this should be an exciting week at Target Field. Get in and see what happens. I don't get the sense that that's how fans feel this week. So my first question to you guys is, what do you think Target Field is going to be like this week, starting on Tuesday?
It's going to be empty.
Tuesday is still going to be empty.
The first 3, yeah. I think, because, I mean, the Marlins are as nondescript as you can get, and they suck. I think that place is going to be empty Tuesday, Wednesday, and Thursday. I'm not sure what your opinion is, Declan, but I think the weekend remains to be seen. But keep in mind, on Sunday, you're going up against the Vikings and Packers. And I think in some ways it's a break that the Vikings are good, because it definitely takes some of the glare off the Twins' meltdown. But the Twins have been, and this is sort of the story of their year, both playing good and bad. Because of all of the PR missteps, I feel like they've sort of spent a lot of the year out of sight, out of mind. And there have been times where it's been fun at Target Field, but in almost every case, I can point to the opponent. You know, the Brewers are in town, it's great. Cardinals are in town, it's great. So I think that they might be as much a forgotten entity as like a toxic one.
Well, because it's going to be, I mean, it's going to be an interesting referendum for all the things I just laid out.
Yeah.
You are in the thick of a playoff race. It is glorious, crisp fall weather. End of the season. It should be exciting times for any baseball franchise. And the last time they were at home during the week, which was 2 weeks ago, and the Angels were in town, another kind of nondescript team. But hey, the Twins have a shot here, right? Let's get this thing going.
Right.
The announced attendance was 14,000, 18,000, and 15,000. And it wasn't close to that. We were at one of those games for our like rooftop gathering. But yep. I mean, yeah, Dex, you're our resident Twins beat podcaster, so you've been at most of these games. What do you think it's going to be like this week?
It's going to be thin for sure on Tuesday through Thursday with the Marlins in town. So Baltimore just needs 2 wins or any combination of the Baltimore winning and the Twins losing. So like The Birds have the Yankees. They're off today, but they have the Yankees Tuesday through Thursday and in New York. So there is still a path for Baltimore actually to clinch a playoff spot by Wednesday if they if they win those 2 games in New York. I still think the Yankees will win that AL East. But let's say Baltimore figures out a way also to just clinch regardless. I mean, the Twins could lose and they could still, their magic number goes up. Let's just say by the time Friday rolls around, Baltimore has clinched a playoff spot.
And then then they can't go up or down. They're just slotted in as the number 1 wildcard team.
They're locked in. Like the funny thing is the Twins have a path here where they're playing 6 games against 2 teams that, well, one that's very checked out in the Marlins, and another team that's just like, hey, let's rest up. We'll get the wild card series at home for the first round. Why are we going to throw anyone? Everyone's on the bench. The Twins could have 6 games against unserious teams, and can they win 5 of them? I don't even know if they can do that. Right. That's where I'm at. Like, on paper, they should 100% win 5 of those 6 games. But with the bats that we just talked about and where they're at right now, like, I don't think it's... I think, and the vibes in general, I don't think it's going to be a packed place by any means at Target Field this weekend.
I feel like Baltimore, though, who has, for about the last month, been bad. In fact, they lost on Sunday, and they've lost 5 consecutive games. I don't know that they can like let their guard down completely. Like they need to turn things around. I'm not saying that you're dumb with your players, but I am saying I don't know that they're in a position to coast into the playoffs.
And you want ABs, like but you're not
right,
going to
exactly.
but you're lining up
right.
your rotation. You're not throwing one of your
true.
dudes on Saturday or Sunday that you trust, right?
Nope. But let me draw a cross-sport comparison here. You know what this, to Dex's point, which is you could be playing a team that has its spot clinched, and in the Marlins, you're just playing a team that's awful. Here's my cross-sport comparison. Remember the last game of the 2018 Vikings campaign? Home game against the Bears team that had clinched everything possible, and all the Vikings had to do was beat what we thought would be a largely checked out team, and the Vikings lost. Because the Vikings felt, in Kirk's first year, completely checked out themselves. That's how this Twins team feels, only this feels worse. Like, I didn't like that Vikings team, but my opinion of this Twins team is even less than that Vikings team. So be careful of like, oh man, they'll be checked. The O's will be checked out. You can still easily lose.
And so the Twins do have the tiebreaker over both. They definitely have the Tigers tiebreaker. I never thought we'd have to worry. Yeah, they do. It's over both.
They've got it on Kansas City too.
It's funny because I didn't think we would have to worry about the Kansas City tiebreaker, but here we are because they haven't won a game in like 8 days.
Correct.
So the way the schedules shake out, it's 3 against Miami, 3 against Baltimore, as we said, for the Twins, all 6 games at home. The Red Hot Tigers, who haven't lost back-to-back games in 3 weeks, 27-11 or 27-10 over the last 6 weeks, literally the hottest team in baseball. They get 6 home games against feisty Tampa Bay. Tampa Bay is still technically, mathematically open for the playoffs. They'd have to sweep through their last 6 games, but they're feisty. But then it's 3 games against the historically bad White Sox to finish. The Royals play 6 road games, 3 against bad and buried Washington, but then 3, these are also at Washington, and then 3 at Atlanta. And Atlanta has like a coin flip chance at a wild card spot, so they're still playing for something. I actually think the Royals are the team you're chasing more than the Tigers based on the schedule here.
I've thought of that.
So,
and the Royals are, like, both teams are going down. The Plains are going down.
It's crazy, man. So yeah, that's and again, if you're looking around, you're the Pohlads, you're the Twins front office, and it is must-win playoff baseball, last week of the season, fall weather, and there's 14,000 fans in that stadium.
Yeah.
That is reflection time, man. That is reflection time, if that happens.
Well, and it was, I thought, at least intriguing that the Star Tribune pointed out that Joe Pohlad was behind the dugout at Fenway Park for the game on Friday. I'm guessing he stayed for Sunday. It doesn't seem like Joe is... I'm sure he's at a ton of home games. I don't know if he travels much, Dex, but I thought it was at least notable that the owner felt it necessary to show up, and my guess is he was not partying in Boston.
Was it to show support,
Well,
encouragement, or was
right.
it to survey what's going on
Well,
here?
and he
and
should
why
be
are we-
surveying this. There's
Oh,
no question.
absolutely.
He should be surveying.
But I think a lot of people would say, well, you should survey on the ownership level.
I agree.
Is tightening the payroll by $30 million, and then whatever they're planned to do. And we talked about all this on Friday, but and there's plenty of time to explore that space. So yeah, Trevor Plouffe tomorrow, by the way. He was off last week because they had John Boy up front, so he might have 2 weeks worth of takes built up for us tomorrow.
Boy.
But yeah, any final words of encouragement for our twin squad here going into a massive homestand?
Encouragement? Well, yeah, win. That'd be great. Just go out and win, please. But
I'm kind of the opposite right now.
They
Yeah,
don't
I
deserve to be
understand.
in the playoffs. Yeah, they don't
I
deserve to
understand.
be.
But
going
like
out.
if they go 3-3 or anything less than that in these 6 games, and that just obviously completes the collapse, most likely. I know the Royals are doing everything they can to help you, but let's just say they go 3-3 or worse, and it's an unsuccessful homestand, and they're not in the playoffs by this time next week. I don't know how anyone, ownership, I guess starting with ownership, can look in the mirror and say, let's just do it again. Let's just run it back. We don't have to make any changes. Like, that's from the fans, from the team on the field and the fans that aren't showing up, like that, you can't remain status quo. For an organization that loves to remain status quo and does not like to put a lot of change out there. I'm very curious to see what that is.
It would mean 3 in a 4-year stretch where you are trying to win games. Like, you are not scaling back. You're ramping up payroll in certain instances. Not this year. It would mean that you would have missed the playoffs in an expanded playoff format in 3 out of 4 years. The 1 year being the most exciting year, at least finished to a year in 20 years, but surrounded by 3 colossal disappointments and or collapses if they don't get back into playoff position. So
Go Tigers.
Can't wait.
Go
Extra
KC.
innings. So
Knock 'em
excited.
out. Knock them out. They don't just. I don't want to see them in the playoffs. And quite frankly, I think a lot of them don't want to see them in the playoffs.
Dex does extra innings podcasts, and he'll get a vibe this week on just what it feels like, because it does feel like.
Well, you know what?
It doesn't feel like they're all hell bent, rowing the same direction here. That's
No.
I don't know.
Let's just say I think the temporary sports corner is going to pay a trip out to Target Field tomorrow night. Got to poke the body, see how.
Is that
cold
you?
it's got.
Is that what you're
yeah,
saying?
Yeah, I'm going
Okay,
sports
I just want
corner.
to be clear.
Yeah,
what
I
we're
had
doing.
no idea what that meant at first.
Yeah.
Sports corner, like Quincy. I'm going to go out there. I'm going to find out what happened.
Who's
What
Quincy?
what is anything you're saying right now? What is
A
that?
coroner. A coroner
Oh, a
comes to
corner.
check.
I heard corner.
Sports corner.
Corner.
And who's
got it.
Quincy?
Google it.
Google
you got it.
Quincy?
Quincy MD, TV show. He was a coroner. You don't have to you don't have to do it right now. If
No,
you
I
get
am.
it, you get
No,
it.
it's
now we have
Quincy,
to.
Quincy M.E., a TV series from 1976
Yep.
through
He was
1983.
Quincy. Jack Klugman. He was great. Oscar Madison.
I might actually look that show up on NBC. Okay.
Yeah.
Back in the
Okay.
day.
Yeah, it was great stuff.
I might add that to my list of old school
There you
go.
TV shows
You'll
to
watch
watch,
it for-
especially if the
you'll-
Twins aren't doing anything in
Yeah,
October.
Might as well. All right, boys.
Baseball.
All right. Hopefully Quincy the coroner can do some work at Target Field this week. This is the SKOR North Twins Show.
Mhm.